Hello and welcome to Armored Warfare with Gorlans Army. My name is Ralex and today I will be reviewing the T-62 Tier 3 Soviet main battle tank from Marat Shishkin's line. Now, the T-62 is one of my favorite tanks, and it was in early access and still is. The damage of the gun is the highest of the Tier 3 main battle tanks. The penetration is second highest. It's second only to the Leopard 1, which has 10 more millimeters of penetration on its AP rounds. The hit points are the lowest part of the tank. It doesn't actually have that many hit points, so you want to make sure you don't get shot at. The camouflage is 0.17, which is very, very good. Best camouflage in the Tier 3 main battle tanks, and 400 meters of view range, which is also the best of the Tier 3 main battle tanks. So this is the sneakiest Tier 3 main battle tank there is in the game. Cannon depression is 6 degrees, which is not very good for the Tier 3 main battle tanks. Both the others have 9 or 10 degrees, so you won't be able to hill peak like they do. The turret traverse, however, is better than both those by far at 48.40 degrees, which is ridiculously quick. That means that you can re-engage targets that try to flank you really, really easily, and any lights or AFVs that get around you are going to have a surprise coming, unless they're watching this video. The reload time is 7.55 seconds, which is very, very long, and you don't want... Yeah, you really want to fire your shot and get out of there with this gun. Fire your shot, take some cover, don't sit around and wait to get shot at. The accuracy spread is 0.13, so that makes it even worse. You don't want to be sitting out there with your gun being inaccurate and theirs being more accurate. You want to be at pretty close ranges with this gun. I'd say at least 100 meters, if not closer. You can't make any shots farther than 100 meters with this gun or you will miss. The targeting time is 2.44 seconds, which is okay. It's pretty good for the Tier 3 main battle tanks. It works very well, and you don't have to worry about it so much as other things on the tank. The armor on the T-62 is an interesting little buggy. It's got 102 millimeters in the front here. That's the whole front. The lower plate is a little weaker, but for the most part, the top of the hull is the same. And the sides are weak, and the rear is weak like all the others, but the turret is very, very tough. It's got 242 millimeters of armor in the front. Now, the front, as far as I can tell from what I've tested, is about here is the front. And then you have the back of it right there, and the middle in between the two. So the 242 millimeters is still right here. So if they don't plant the shot more in the back of the turret, then they're going to bounce it, which is very nice. This means that this tank is an incredibly good hold-down tank. If you get this thing hold down, you're pretty much invincible. So if you look at the maps and find those nice hold-down positions that are forward on the battlefield, you'll be solid. Well, the commander that I usually use on the T-62 is Rashid Al-Atassi, simply because he increases both my hull and turret traverse speed by 15% each, which is an incredible buff. It also increases the reload of your cannon by 10% whenever, well, it doesn't increase, it decreases the reload of your cannon by 10% whenever you're near an allied vehicle, which is very good. For the crew, I got spin to win to increase that hull traverse, so I'm a little more of a knife fighter than the other main battle tanks. You want to buff your strengths. That's my philosophy in this game, is you want to buff your strengths so that you can use them to outdo other people's strengths. And so I picked the spin to win, which allows me to knife fight more effectively in this tank, and I also took quick draw, which improves the aim speed, and also rapid fire, simply because you don't want to be sitting down there reloading your gun for forever. The ammo is pretty standard. You get your heat rounds, you get your AP rounds, and you get your HE rounds. The heat is very good at Tier 3. You can pretty much just shoot it at whatever you want. Some Tier 4s won't eat it, and Tier 5s are probably going to bounce it. But other than that, the heat will go right through everything. The AP rounds are very, very good. 237 millimeters of penetration is phenomenal for this tier. Again, the only tank that has more is the Leopard, and it only gets 247. And it gets way less damage. So these AP rounds are very good, and if you find yourself against an opponent you can't pen with the heat rounds, shoot the AP. Now, if both of those fail, then you can shoot the HE, which will most likely do damage no matter where you shoot it. But it does less damage, a lot less, but it'll also damage modules, guns, your crewmen, everything like that, and it'll annoy people. It'll annoy them into making a mistake. So if you have an opponent who's dug in, just spam HE at him, and that will cause him to make a mistake and come out of his hidey hole, so you can shoot him with the AP, which does more damage. Now, going into the retrofits I have on this tank, I have got the chrome barrel lining and the gyroscopic stabilizers. The chrome barrel lining helps my accuracy because this thing is a blunderbuss as it is, so you want to help that accuracy as much as possible. And the gyroscopic stabilizers help my aim time and my reload time, which is very, very good. You don't want to be sitting there around getting shot at when you're in this thing. In any tank, you don't want to be around getting shot at. Now, going on to the consumables, we have the very expensive premium consumables again. I like to buy the expensive stuff because it works the best. You also get passive boosts with it, which is very, very important. If you say you don't want the passive boosts and just want something to repair your tracks when you're in a pinch, then the normal repair kit works fine. But I like these ones because I think they're a better value. You get the passive boost to everything if you don't use it, and you get the instant cleared gun, cleared tracks, cleared turret, everything. You also get all your crewmen back if you need them, which is very, very good. The auto fire extinguisher I think is a must, simply because you don't have to hit that key to activate the auto extinguisher, and you don't have to worry about it at all. If you get caught on fire, then this thing triggers immediately, and you don't have to worry about your reaction time, which is very important. It means you don't spend as much time scrambling over the keys trying to hit the right keys, and instead the fire's out like that. Now, the PvE low-tier field maintenance kit is pretty much standard. Everybody carries one because otherwise you'll run out of ammo in PvE and not be able to do anything. So all in all, the T-62 is a very good main battle tank. Crappy gun depression, crappy hull armor, and that's about it. It excels at everything else. It's got really good penetration on that gun. It's got really good damage. It is sort of a bigger target with the other MBTs. It's about the same size as the Leopard, a little smaller than the M60. So you've got to worry about that a little bit, but I love it. It probably has the best turret armor, so it does have the best turret armor. So if you get it down in a hold down position, you're safe. So I will go ahead and show you guys the PvE stress test now. Alright, welcome to the T-62 main battle tank test here on Roughneck. On the Roughneck map, you want your AFVs and light tanks to go up there north where the guy's pinging currently, and you want your tank destroyers to hold that eye alleyway so that the main battle tanks can fight it off in the town and spread out from there. Now, if any of those sides push through, you gain a massive advantage in the game. And once one of those sides pushes through on either side, the side that pushed through usually wins, simply because they surround you and you die. And so we're going to go into the refinery area and get into it with all the other main battle tanks to stop them from coming into our base and getting everybody else, which we don't want. Now the T-62 doesn't play on this map very well, simply because there's not a lot of hold down positions here. There are some of them in the refinery. You can use some of the concrete pillars they have as cover for your entire hole, and you can just pop your turret out over that. You'll see that in a minute. And right now you can see we don't have an ideal split here. A lot of our lighter tanks are going down that southern road, while we only have one tank destroyer up north with a main battle tank with him. And the reason why you don't want the main battle tanks up north is simply because there's no cover for them. There's too much room for the lighter tanks to maneuver around them, and you'll get outmaneuvered very easily. Well, in the city, it's very hard to outmaneuver somebody if they're in front of you, because there's buildings in the way, and those buildings are your friend. It's what you use for cover. It's what you make sure your sides aren't getting shot at. So our southern side is engaged then, and we're going to have to make sure that we get around their side. We're going to try to flank them here. And when we flank them, that means we'll have shots at their backs. And that does two things. One, it splits the enemy's fire, and it also splits where they have to point their armor. If they point towards me, they get shot in the side by everybody else. If they point towards everybody else, they get shot in the side by me. So no matter what, it's a win-win for our team. So here we go. Going to go around here, hoping to engage the other main battle tanks and everything. I don't want to take the road straight down because it was a little too open, and I don't want to get caught out with a nasty surprise. I want somewhere where I can retreat into. Here we go. Just going to pop around this thing, and then we're spotted by the Dragoon 90 up there, and so we're going to go ahead and shoot at him. He's not looking at us, so we'll take a quick shot and then pull behind this concrete pillar. And this is the kind of concrete pillar I was talking about. You can see that we can very easily use it as a hold down position as we fire another one blind into there. Now that he's gone, we're going to go ahead and continue on with our plan to outflank. We've got an M41 up here that we're going to engage first because we don't want people shooting into our sides or rear. So we're going to engage him, knock him out, pull back. Now, we were spotted by the M41, so we're going to wait till we're unspotted, and then we're going to check and see if that Dragoon 90 is still up in that location, and we'll know if he spots us because he has a better view range. We are not spotted, so that means we can go ahead and clean up all the other guys, come around behind them, and finish them off. Now, the guys they have over there are a T-64, Dragoon 90, and some other light tanks over on the H line. And our guys have done a really stellar job of holding that line. They've done an incredibly good job, especially this 040. The 040 is a very fragile tank, so it takes quite a bit of skill to play.
Identify.
Alright, here's the rear shots we were going for. We roll high there, but it's just not enough damage to finish him off completely. We'll take another shot, which our allies will obligingly put in for us there.
Identify.
Now we can engage the Starship. The Starship, as you can see right there, has a very, very scary gun. And it only fires shaped charges, so it'll only fire HE or heat. And he's firing heat, which is the way to go on the gun. Because of that, it gets easily absorbed by the tracks. And he also has one of the longest reload times of any MBT in the game. It allows us to out-reload him and pump a shot into him while he's reloading. However, if we do get hit by the gun again, we will die. So we're going to go ahead and let those tanks that have circled around go ahead and finish him off, and then we'll engage the rear of this T-64 that's up here, while our 040 distracts him. So there he is, distracting him, and we put a nice side shot in. 040 puts in a shot, and now we're going to finish him off before he can do anything else about that 040. Alright, 040 finished him off for us. That was great. And then we can engage the Dragoon 90 up here. One good shot, and we have someone spawn behind us, which makes me panic and miss this shot. I didn't aim it fully.
Tracks repaired.
And we're going to use this dead T-64 as cover. This way we have a gigantic thing on our left that protects us from the BMD, and we could safely fire at the Dragoon 90. So here we go around this gigantic tank, and there's the BMD fort, and there it is. He hit me, so I panicked the shot, and it missed. And there's where you can see the accuracy of the gun coming into play in those last two shots that I rushed. It's a very inaccurate gun, and so you want to make sure it aims fully. And I'm not doing that right now, which is why I'm missing a lot. Alright, so that's everybody in the town, so I'm going to go ahead and go on an arty hunt. He just pounded me from behind for 58 damage, almost killed me. And I assume he's somewhere on the 0 or 1 from C line to the J, I think. So he's somewhere around there. Probably more like to the E. But anyway, you can see that the T-62 is a really good tank in this city. It's got a great damaging gun and can penetrate all of its targets. We were shooting mostly at the back of the targets there due to our strategy we were using. But all in all, it works very, very well. It has a very satisfying gun, so you don't have to worry about it too much. You don't have to worry about the tracks eating the shot on most tanks if it's AP, and you don't have to worry about the side armor getting a lucky bounce in. You could also see that we were able to get a hold down position there, which allowed us to push away the Dragoon 90 that was on the hill and could have given us serious problems. We spotted this Lab 3800 up here, and I decided to go for it because somebody else spotted the artillery on the other side of the map, and we'll likely kill him soon.
Identify target.
And an M6, we spot an M60 on our left, and so we back up immediately into some cover because we don't want to be shot again. We have no health. And if the M60 fires HE at us, it'll probably kill us. We bounce off the lower glacis with HE. Heat, sorry.
Identify. Hostile truck.
Forward again. There's a little brick wall in the way, so that's what deflected my shot that time. I look up there for the Lab 300 that was going to come down on top of me when I spotted him, but our guys back in the cap circle got him. Job to that Pack 90 that did that. There we go. Lower glacis shot into the M60 does 327 damage. Looking for another shot here. He's at an interesting angle. I don't want to shoot the side, but I hit the beak of his tank instead, which bounces the shot. Alright, last shot, AP through the wall, and there it is. Game done. And that's how you play the T-62. Very good tank in my opinion. A little bit of a glass cannon, kind of fragile. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and hit the red subscribe button down by the subscription, and I'll see you guys next week.